Hi, everyone. I'm back. I'm Dr. Una. I'm the CEO of Ivy League Pediatrics out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, founder of EntreMD. And I am coming on here because I decided that I'm going to share, my journey, my thoughts as I try to pivot my practice so that it thrives in spite of the coronavirus pandemic. I want to say, I want to give a big shout out to everybody listening who's in private practice because you're at the forefront of this. You have the enormous responsibility of protecting your patients and serving them with everything that's going on, sometimes without even the right equipment and stuff like that. But you also have the enormous responsibility as well of making sure that your practice stays viable, that it thrives in spite of all of this. We know that there's been a drastic drop in number of patient visits and stuff like that, but we're going to thrive. We're going to come out on the other side. And so we're just going to work on pivoting and, changing what we do or tweaking what we do. So anyway, today I was, reading about a company that we all know, and I got inspired by what's been going on with them. And I was like, started asking myself some interesting questions. So we all know about Teladoc, and, the coronavirus pandemic has it's kind of made them super, super busy. Probably they are seeing more patients than they projected to see the entire year, possibly. And I was reading some data that said that they had gotten up to 15,000 visits in a day. I need you to just pause and think about that, okay? So 15,000 visits a day. To which, if you're in private practice, you're like, well, that's Teladoc. They're a big company, right? And they are, so 15,000 visits. They had wait times as much as 6 hours at a point. And, at some point, I think that website was even glitchy because it was just, the sheer volume. And I thought that was very interesting, and the first reaction for anybody who reads that, who's in private practice, might be, they're a big company, they can do that, or whatever, they're a big company, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Let's put this in perspective. What if, they increased all the way up to 15,000? What if I increased to 20 visits, telemedicine visits per doctor per day? What if I did that? I mean, don't do 15,000, don't do half of that, don't do a quarter, do 20, which is like 0.13%, right? But, you're like, clearly people want it, and I'm going to talk about why maybe we don't have it in a second, but, think about it, 0.13%, we can do it, do you agree? But anyway, so I kind of said, okay, I like playing around with math. So I said, okay, wait, let's say you did, I'm going to do it right here. You did 20 patients per doctor. So let's say solo doc, you're by yourself. You had to really limit the number of people you see. Maybe you're, maybe you're a pediatrician like me and you're only seeing, babies who need shots, and everybody else, you're like, I can't see you. Okay. So you can't come here, go to the urgent care so I can protect my patients, which, is valid. And so you're doing that and you're like, you know what, I'm going to pick on telemedicine and I'm going to do, some of the things I'm going to talk about now. And you did that. And let's say you did 20 a day and they were only paying you $50 for each one. This is just to make my math easy. But anyway, so if you did that, 20 a day will put you at 1,000 a day, right? Extra revenue that you're making directly to your bottom line because you've already paid for everything else, right? You've paid for the staff, you've paid your mortgage or your rent and all of that stuff. And if you did that and you do that for 20 working days a month, that's 20,000 versus the office just being closed and you being at home. I say that's pretty good, right? And it's not 50, right? That's not really what the reimbursement is, but let's just say that's an extra 20,000. So it's something to look at, like, and oh, well, let's get into it. So the thing is, why is it going up for Teladoc and maybe not for us, right? And there are a number of thoughts behind that, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. But so the first thing is, if we're going to see these increased volumes, the first thing is we're going to need to recognize that our private practices are businesses. And you might go like, what do you mean? Of course, it's a business, right? But a business is designed to serve and make a profit, right? It has to do both. And for you to own it that you're a business, there's some, you have to think sometimes in terms of profit centers, right? So for instance, if you look at Amazon, Amazon is not just one product, right? So there's Amazon, there's a division that's just books. There's a division that's just that Kindle stuff. There's the division that's Amazon wardrobe, where they send you your clothes, you try it on. If you don't like it, you send it back. If you like it, you keep it, right? There's Amazon Prime. Like, they have all these places. So if one place was touched, the others could be the buffer, right? So now in this coronavirus era that we live in, the other places are being touched. The in-person visits are being touched and all that stuff. But your telemedicine is one place that could actually boom and potentially make up for the revenue that will be lost from the other side. So we need to start thinking, strategically, like businesses. We always put patient care first because that's what we do at our core. But around patient, like if you're going to continue to offer great patient care, then you need to figure out the money piece, right? So one is to recognize, this is a business. And what that will do is make you see maybe telemedicine as a division and do the work it takes to make it a profitable division, right? So that's kind of the way that you want to think about that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that, if you're going to think that way, then you need to start building systems, right? So your businesses build systems. So it's not just about getting a telemedicine platform and slapping it on, but you're looking at the platform. You're looking at the workflow. How am I going to put this in? How am I going to make sure my co-pays are collected first? What are the types of visits, right, that would be considered right for telemedicine? How am I going to know which insurance pays for what? Like, you have to have a whole system built out. Now, when I say system, I'm not talking about, a 6-month process and all of that, but you just plan, door to door, or rather computer to computer. How's that working, right? So, how are the appointments being scheduled, right? How are they getting the consent so that they can sign it before the appointment starts? How are they figuring out how to download the app or, log on to whichever site you need them to log on to? Okay, how is the actual visit happening? Where is it happening? Where are we scheduling? Where are we putting it? And after that, how are the billers taking care of it so that we're being reimbursed for it? So you see, it's a whole track. And so you need to build out that system so you can accommodate more visits. You can get paid for the visits that, you're taking care of and all of that stuff. So it's not just randomly doing it. It's not doing it and going like, we'll just see what happens. I'm doing this because I care about the patients. I'm not really expecting to be paid. Because remember, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, and you need to serve people and make a profit, right? Okay, so that's that piece. Then, so the first is recognize this is a business. The second is create the system. The third, which is the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, is promotion. It's marketing, right? So we don't want to be the world's best kept secret, right? There are many people who would love to do telemedicines with you, their doctor who they know and trust. They have no idea that you offer it. Or maybe they don't even know what it is and they don't know that you offer it. They don't know it's a thing. So they're sitting at home wishing that you could take care of them, and you could and you want to. So there's that disconnect, okay? And when it comes to promotion, we use everything, right? So when they're in the office, you let them know, hey, we do telemedicine. There's signs. We collect all their emails, so you can do an email blast. You can do videos to tell them this is what we do and this is how we do it. If they call into the office, you can convert the visits into telemedicine. I mean, like, but you have to promote. If we don't promote, they don't know. Grant Cardone is the one that says that the biggest problem that businesses have is obscurity. Nobody knows you're there, okay? So Teladoc, I haven't looked at their numbers for how much they spend on marketing, but you better be sure that that is quite a bit, and strategic networking and all this stuff they do to make sure that they're top of mind. When you think about telemedicine, you think about them. So for us, we're not trying to reach the whole nation. We're trying to reach our people, our patients, and potential new patients, but we need to start marketing, right? And sometimes we think of it as kind of like sleazy car salesman. That's kind of the way it feels. But the truth of the matter is, as human beings, marketing is kind of or selling is kind of our nature. You know, for instance, I have a 4-year-old who's so good at this, so good. And, you know, I'm the pediatrician who's like, yes, your screen time cannot be more than an hour a day and stuff like that. Doesn't stop her. You know, mommy, can we watch TV? No, not today. Can we watch TV, please, please, right? And you know, if you know any good 4-year-old, you know they don't stop till you say yes, right? And then when I eventually, maybe on that day, I'm like, you can watch TV. Can we have popcorn too, right? So she did the sell, she did the upsell, she did it all naturally, okay? And if for any reason I said no, what did she say after that? Well, can we watch tomorrow, right? Because no doesn't mean no, it means later. So these are things that we need to do. It's not going to feel like second nature. Actually, it's going to feel very bizarre. But we live in different times, and we have to do what we need to do so that our practices will survive too. So I just wanted to share, you know, those were my thoughts, and the inspiration was just do this like you mean it, make this a division of your business, and grow the division. There's a market for it. The people want it. The insurance companies are paying for it. Make it a division. This could be the division that buffers some of the loss of revenue from decreased patient visits. So those are just my thoughts. You can share yours in the comments, and together we can just thrive and knock this out of the park at the end of the day. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching. I will keep you updated with what I'm doing to pivot, and I'll see you in the next video.